soldering techniques first, because it's very easy to totally cook and smoke and destroy capacitors or transistors. Not so hard resistors, but you can fuck up a capacitor and you can easily fuck up a transistor by overheating it when you're applying it to a circuit board. So there's a special technique that you have to use to remove a blown component. Green tea with a little bit of finely sliced ginger I got from my Japanese restaurant job, Slurping Turtles. That's fine. All right, so there's this little solder sucker gun, and it's got you pull this thing up, so we've got a vacuum, and there's a click stop, and you've got a trigger on it. So with one hand, you very carefully melt the solder on the pin, and then you pull the trigger on the solder sucker gun. It goes, and it sucks the solder up off of the circuit board from around the pin where it's stuck into the circuit board. So you have to learn this, or how to terminate a coax cable. You've got to strip the end of the outer black vinyl jacket this much, and then you got to peel the braid off, and then you got to strip the insulator off the center core about this much, and then you very carefully fit the coaxial connector onto the cable and very carefully solder it without burning and causing a short between the peripheral and the center conductor of the coax, and you've got a proper plug at the end of your coax cable. So there's little procedures like that that you really have to know to build anything electronic. Number one. Number two, you need to know how to test and calibrate a unit so that you can have it transmit where you want it to transmit, because you don't want to have it accidentally transmitting on COP frequencies or air traffic control frequencies, because the feds will immediately spend thousands of dollars to try to find your ass if you are like accidentally broadcasting on 105 megahertz, and then you are accidentally transmitting on like 210 or 420 megahertz, these integral multiple harmonics of your base frequency that you think you're transmitting on. All right, so if you calibrate your shit wrong, or if you crank your bitch up too high, because, well, this is a nominal 10 watt output low power hobby transmitter, but look, I could just turn this little set screw in the adjustment knob and I'll turn it up to 20 watts. Yeah, but it's 20 dirty watts and you're transmitting all these spurious emissions and harmonics, and then the feds come after you. So if you have clean audio, clean modulation, stable frequency, you're on your actual frequency, let's just say hypothetically 105.1. It has to be 105.1 down to like 3 decimal places. It can't be like 105.2. It's got to be 105.1001, and then you're within parameter. You know, the FCC will come after your ass if you're flaky that way. Plus, nobody's going to fucking listen to you, because if you're on an irregular frequency, you've got a digital tuner on your radio. It only tunes every 200 Ks, right? 88.3, 88.5. It's not a normal analog tuning dial, but if it's an actual digital tuning dial and you're slaved to exactly 88.3, exactly 88.5 or whatever, and your shit is transmitting at 88.4, well, then you're going to sound like shit to any digital tuner that's out there who's trying to listen to your ass. But with a low power FM transmitter of only 5 watts from the top of one of those dog shit Division Street buildings across from Liberty Plaza that you're talking about moving into, you install a vertical whip antenna that is 5/8 of a wavelength of the frequency you're operating on off the FM dial. It'll be about, this tall on your roof, a little mast mount, a little chimney mount vertical antenna, a omnidirectional, horizontal, vertically polarized radiator. 5 watts will get you all over downtown. It'll get you all the way to South University. It'll get you to the Hill area dorms, maybe even North Campus, all the way downhill, because you've got line of sight all the way the hell down to the west side of Ann Arbor. It just goes all the way downhill, then it goes uphill toward West Huron Street over that way. And so you've got a real good line of sight. Nobody's going to see it. Nobody's going to look for it. Put a fucking American flag on it. Nobody will even identify it as a goddamn radio antenna. Or a stovepipe. They've got little stovepipe antennas that look like a stovepipe, and they're designed very specifically to transmit clandestinely. You see, I actually have a lot of tricks like this because I've read and I've worked with and consulted with and actually developed radio projects with some famous pirate radio operators whose names I won't mention in this video clip, but in another one I will when I speak a little bit more formally on the subject, because I do actually have involvement with a couple of organizations that have done this stuff over many years in many countries. Countries in which setting up such radio transmitters is illegal, by the way. So, you know, it's the kind of thing that might have people not want me to come back to their country if it became a little bit too public. And I can name you a good small handful of countries on one hand where I've actually done this. So